Volcanoes are among the most unforgiving natural forces on the planet, capable of reshaping entire landscapes in moments. And their molten interiors are powerful enough to vaporize almost anything that dares to fall in. If a person were to plunge into a lake of molten lava, they would be consumed almost instantly, leaving virtually nothing behind. This extreme destructive capacity naturally raises an intriguing question. If volcanoes can obliterate matter so completely, could humanity ever use them as a convenient way to eliminate its ever-growing mountains of garbage? And if such an idea were even remotely feasible, how would we transport waste to these fiery chasms? And what kinds of dangers might we face along the way? This is What If, and this is a detailed look at what might happen if we attempted to dispose of our trash by dumping it directly into active volcanoes. Each year, Americans alone generate around 254 million tons of waste. With the world population continuing to grow, the global waste problem grows right along with it, and people continue searching for new ways to manage all that trash. On the surface, the idea of hurling garbage into a volcano might sound like the ultimate disposal strategy. After all, if lava can melt rock, surely it can handle plastic bottles, food scraps, old clothing, broken appliances, and everything else we throw away. But the truth is much more complicated. Volcanoes may resemble nature's own incinerators, but they are also extremely unstable, extraordinarily dangerous, and critical to this discussion, usually located far from major population centers. So before we load up fleets of garbage trucks or helicopters for a volcanic cleanup operation, we need to consider whether conquering the many obstacles would be worth the effort, or whether turning volcanoes into giant trash cans would end up harming the planet more than it helps. The first major challenge would be identifying the right type of volcano. There are roughly 1,500 potentially active volcanoes scattered across the Earth, but most of them are located in remote regions or on islands where few people live. Transporting massive quantities of trash to these locations would already be massively expensive, energy-intensive, and logistically difficult. Even worse, arriving at an active volcano does not guarantee that it would be suitable for waste disposal. Not all volcanoes behave the same way. For our purposes, we would need a shield volcano, the type known for slow, steady eruptions and broad, gently sloping sides. These volcanoes can maintain relatively stable lava lakes, those deep, churning pools of molten rock that people often imagine when thinking of volcanoes. Unfortunately, shield volcanoes with accessible lava lakes are quite rare. Much more common are stratovolcanoes, the tall, steep-sided, highly explosive volcanoes created by layers of hardened lava, ash, and rock. Stratovolcanoes erupt violently because trapped gases build immense pressure beneath the surface, and introducing large amounts of foreign material could trigger unpredictable explosions. These are definitely not suitable locations for dumping garbage. But let us imagine, for the sake of this scenario, that we find the perfect active shield volcano with a stable lava lake. Even then, the task of getting the trash to the crater is far from safe. A volcanic vent is one of the most dangerous places on Earth. The air is often filled with poisonous gases such as sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. The ground around the vent can crack unexpectedly. Chunks of volcanic rock, known as bombs, can be flung from the lava without warning. Lava splatter can shoot in unpredictable directions. Simply approaching the vent would require specialized equipment, protective suits, and advanced training. And things become even more hazardous when you begin tossing waste into the lava. In 2002, a group of Ethiopian researchers threw a 30-kilogram bag of trash into a lava lake during a scientific study. The moment the bag hit the surface, it triggered a violent reaction. Because the trash was much cooler than the lava, it caused the upper layer to fracture, allowing pressurized gases to escape explosively. Now, imagine scaling that reaction up from one small bag to millions of tons of garbage. In Hawaii, rockfalls into lava lakes have been observed blasting molten lava over 85 meters into the air. A steady stream of trash could produce repeated explosions, showering debris, volcanic gases, and molten rock over the surrounding area. Even if the process were made safe, something that seems extremely unlikely, another major issue remains: pollution. Lava does not break down all materials completely. Some plastics, metals, and chemical compounds could produce toxic fumes or partially melted remnants, which might later be ejected from the volcano and contaminate nearby ecosystems. Unlike modern waste-to-energy incinerators, volcanoes have no air filtration systems. Every harmful gas released by burning trash would go straight into the atmosphere, worsening air quality and contributing to climate change. And the environmental cost does not stop there. Transporting trash across long distances to remote volcanoes would dramatically increase the carbon footprint of waste disposal. Trucks, ships, and aircraft would burn enormous amounts of fuel just getting the garbage to the drop-off point. When the goal is to reduce our environmental impact, adding more emissions is the exact opposite of what we want to accomplish. If humanity truly wants to eliminate waste through burning, we would be far better off investing in efficient, regulated incineration facilities that can capture energy, filter pollutants, and ensure that only safe byproducts are released. Or, if we're feeling ambitious, we might consider launching our garbage into space. Of course, that idea comes with its own list of hazards, expenses, and unpredictable consequences. But that, as always, is a subject for another what-if. Ultimately, the notion of using volcanoes as disposal sites highlights how tempting extreme solutions can appear when facing a global waste crisis. Yet the dangers, pollution, and immense logistical demands make the idea unrealistic. Real progress depends on producing less waste, improving recycling systems, and investing in cleaner technologies that reduce environmental harm for our planet.